Well, we're here at the Staccato booth, and Paul here is going to tell us about the new goodness from Staccato, the HD.
Yeah, so this is the Staccato HD. This is the P4 Staccato HD. We obviously have the P4 and the P4.5. We have a 4-inch model and a 4.5-inch model. That's really what that comes down to. It's a different 2011 in so many ways, right? It's truly kind of a re-engineered retake on what we've been doing. It's obviously feeding off the Glock magazine. That's the big change for us. That's really, again, coming from a customer ask. They're coming to us and saying, hey, can you make it run on this magazine? And we're saying, yeah, we can figure that out. So that's been the big change. But we didn't just put a Glock magazine in our pistol. We really re-engineered this entire platform really around that, right?
Okay.
So what that does, or what that did, I guess, was really change a lot of the intents and purposes of what we've been doing. So the slide stop, for example, so much of this gun goes to asks that we've been getting from law enforcement, military types, other things over the last really 5-6 years here around what they want the pistol to do, or what what capabilities they're looking for in a pistol. And that came back to a lot of this, being really baked into the gun at an engineering level. So we've got ambidextrous slide stops. We have ambidextrous thumb safety. We got the swappable mag catch, so you can swap the mag catch from left hand to right hand.
Right.
We have, the big change. One of the other big changes here is we have a firing pin block in the pistol now. So that's another piece of this. But one of the pieces that we wanted to make sure all along was that this is still very much a Staccato trigger. So we did do a Series 80 style system, but the Series 80 style system we did is very much our own Series 80 style system. So we modified the geometry of those levers slightly. We EDM those levers in-house, and we actually polish those levers in-house to just make sure that we build a trigger that's as good of a trigger as we want it to be. It is a 4 to 4.5 pound trigger because that's the intent and purpose of what's going on.
Duty pistol.
Exactly. We did that in a way to make sure that we ensured that this really is still a Staccato trigger. It breaks the wall, all of it feels like our trigger. And that was a critical requirement for us. We did do some different things relative to the things like the thumb safety. It's a captive thumb safety. Doesn't take down the same way that you would expect it to. And again, kind of so much of this, it is 2011, but many of the parts and pieces are not the same parts and pieces of what you would expect to find. So
Okay.
you're not going to swap the thumb safeties from somebody else and pop them on here, things like that. It's not as much the same. Still a linked barrel, still the 1911 fire control. We did do some things ergonomically that really changed this whole thing. So the mag catch location is obviously higher. That allowed us to put the second finger a lot higher on the gun. We also then were able to also bring up the back strap. So
I see you guys also eliminated the palm safety.
correct. By getting rid of the grip safety, one of the other downstream changes here is in doing that, we can also bring the back end of the gun up a little bit. So what we did was really massage the whole back end of the gun. You can really see that it doesn't have as many of those hard edges that the 1911, 2011 design historically had. This really is a different shape at the back of the gun, and it's just a far more ergonomic shape than what it's been. But we also brought that grip safety, or the beaver tail up. We also brought the second finger up. What that really did is effectively lower the bore axis in your hand. What we're basically doing is giving you a little bit more shootability by allowing you to get higher on the gun with a better grip on the gun. We've improved the texturing around the grip. It's a stiffer, or a more aggressive texture than what we've been doing previously. It does give you just a little bit more grip. We've really optimized the balance of this pistol, so we've worked a lot on where the center of mass of this pistol lives to make sure that the cycle of operation feels exactly the way we want it to.
Right.
The return to zero on this pistol really is impressive. This 4-inch pistol is shooting as good as our current Staccato P. It's truly a soft shooting and quick recovering pistol. That's really the Staccato P, or Staccato P4. Go ahead.
So I see it's optics ready.
Yes, sir.
Do you have different plates for the different footprints, or is there just one footprint?
Yeah, so we do it a little bit differently. We do have different plates for the different footprints, but the plates are not plates necessarily. So what we're doing here is there's no second set of screws. basically the optic screws that mount are the optic screws. So there's no second screws that mount the plate and then you mount the screw, mount your optic from there. There's simply the optic screws themselves. The one context that's different is the aim point, right? The aim point you're going to bolt the plate on and then you're going to cross bolt, and that's just because of how mechanically that thing works. But what we have is basically an offset for the RMR, HD or SRO, right? That's pushed back as far as we can. And then the delta point kind of sits a little bit in the middle. And then the RMR sits a little bit further forward of that. What that allows is it gives us essentially a kind of a variable way that we can adapt this whole thing to a few different footprints of optics, while providing us that universal interface to be able to work with all those different optics as well.
Nice. What's the retail on that going to be?
Yeah, so this guy is right at $24.99. That's our starting price on this guy. I think the P4.5 starts at $25.99. And then we obviously have the premium and preferred packages. So you go base, kind of like a base package, a premium package, or a preferred package, and then a premium package. The premium package kind of has all your go fast gizmos on it. We get gill cuts, we get some other features, more magazines, things like that. The preferred package, you get DLC barrel and some more magazines and a few other features, upgraded sights, things like that. So I didn't mention we are using a different footprint for the front sight. That is a SIG footprint optic or front sight. That's giving us a little bit more availability for just different sight options. So this, for example, is using a Trigicon HD front sight as well. So.
Cool. Availability?
Yeah, so these will be shipping, I believe, on the 28th of this month. So these will be shipping here as far as the P4 is concerned. The P4.5 shipping soon after that.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. Appreciate it. Thanks.